out with the baby for probably the last couple hours, hour and a half or so.
You got a baby?
Yeah, man. Little 4-month-old.
No. What, dude? That's awesome.
Crazy.
Wait, is it like your first child?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
It's crazy. It was really hard first couple of months to adjust to it, but it's a lot better now.
What does it feel like to be a dad?
It's cool. It's different for sure than not. You always imagine what you think it would feel like, and then it feels a lot cooler than that. Sometimes still pretty surreal.
All right, well, that's cool. So what do you want to jump into?
So I hopped into the Discord probably like 2 weeks ago, I would say, because I had stumbled across a lot of Richard's videos on TikTok and stuff. And I've been kind of listening to some of the live streams when I can. And I'm super interested in the aspect of like sort of how I understand like me finding the deal and then bringing it to the team, helping to like close it and get the ball rolling and things like that. Because I'm brand new to real estate. I'm a full-time physical therapist. So that's what I spend my day doing. My boss is getting into like fix and flipping, but he's got a lot more capital to do that. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, wholesaling and doing this is probably my way to get in order to eventually move on towards having a more real estate and things like that for the family. But I wanted to spend some one-on-one time just kind of getting a more in-depth approach towards like what are the actual like steps that I need to take to start moving in the direction of being able to find deals to bring for them to carry across the finish line, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. So number one step would be, okay, what deals would you want to go after? Would you want to go after creative, or would you want to go after the lump sum deals?
Probably to start would be the lump sum deals, because I'm still kind of taking some time to figure out the creative stuff. I think I'd be definitely open to the creative stuff down the road after I learn a little bit more, but I think the lump sum deals probably be the best place to start for me.
Cool. So I'll tell you this, it's a lot less intimidating than you think, especially with the lump sum.
Okay.
So with these, all you have to do is, you're taking each market, right? I don't know if you watch the courses or not, but take the market. You put all of this information into Zillow, right? So let's just say we go to Zillow. Let's say we're looking in St. Louis, right? I already have the information here, but I'll show you.
Yeah.
So, bath minimum, I don't put square footage because sometimes listings will not show square footage. And if you put a square footage requirement, it won't show the listing. So I just manually check. Yeah. Obviously St. Louis, but that's about it. I'll give you my exact filters of what I use. So I'll do up to 100K, 3-bed, 1-bath. I only have houses selected, and year built. I know it says 1940. I do 1920 because these guys they'll look something at 1920 as long as it's fully renovated. But I'll show you something. So you see how it only says 19 years old?
Yeah.
So if you click remove boundary, it gives you 114. Now I will say you just want to be mindful and make sure that they're not outside of St. Louis, but anything up here on this side of the river, it's all good. So even if you want to do like a draw, right, and you draw your line like this, apply, that's perfectly fine. And then from there, I do price high to low, and then I'll just go through, right? So let's just say I look for properties that are turnkey, good looking, right? This one's a little bit outdated. It's not bad. I want to find something where I know I submitted it'll sell. So let's look at this one. This one's nice. Let's see. Yeah, this one's really nice. All redone. I like this one's nice looking. So when you come across something like this, what you would do is you would just take the address, you put it into Buybox Cartel, and then over here, all you have to fill in is rent and rehab. You don't have to worry about ARV. So rent, if we're going to do Buybox, we get our rent off of HUDuser.com, right? So I'll show you, I'll give you this link as well so you have it, put in the Zoom chat. And then we're going to click right here. We're going to scroll down to St. Louis, right? Select. And then we're going to go by zip code and bedroom. So 63135, 4-bedroom, right? So 4 bedrooms all the way to the right. 63135 right here. And then 4 bedrooms all the way to the right. So it's for 1940. It's a high rent.
This is what the government would pay like on a Section 8.
Exactly. Yeah. So 1940 rehab. So these guys won't go over 4,000, right? They want turnkey. But the way I do my rehab with these guys specifically is I do it on a scale of 1 to 4, right? So 1 being absolutely pristine, fully redone, and then 4 being just livable, right? This is all redone. I would give this, I put it at a 1, right? Almost pristine essentially. So I put 1,000, right? And then click find matches. St. Louis matched. Buybox offer $95,000. They'll pay for this, right? So now we go back. Let's list for 99. So if the Buybox buyer will pay 95, and we're selling it to the Buybox, we have to get it for 85, right? So we can make a 10K assignment. So all you would do is you figure out, okay, this is how much a buyer will pay. I need to go back to that property and get it for 7 or 10K under what the buyer's going to pay, lock it up and sell it to the Buybox. So from here, you get on the phone, call them up. Hey, I saw your property. I'm looking to put in an offer. What's the best email to reach you at, right? Obviously you can develop your conversations from there, but just to start, that's pretty easy. Yeah. And you send it through and then on to the next. And then before you know it, you're piling up deals. Even if, let's just say you have 50, even if 25 fall through, that's it. All Buybox is.
So let's say I were to call that property and then start talking to somebody and, we get, let's say I pitch 85 and they're like, yeah, that sounds good. What's the next step from there?
Yep. So the next step would be the realtor would write up a contract and then you would sign it and the seller would sign it, right? So now you're in a legally binding contract.
Okay. So the realtor does all the contract work.
Yeah. You should never have to touch a contract unless you're signing it.
Okay.
And then all you do is you click this button where it says push to pipeline, right? And then when it pushes over, let's just say this deal, for example, we actually closed this deal last month. Let's take this deal. deal. Do you have it under contract? You would put the contract price, attach a copy of the contract, which the realtor will send you, year of the HVAC, year of the roof, year of the water heater, which you can get from the realtor, and then you just click send mail, and that goes over to Kurt, which is one of our VAs, and Kurt would sell the deal, get a bid on the deal, get back, hey, we got a, let's just say you got it for 85, and they're, hey, we got someone who's willing to pay 95. Do you want to take it? Yeah, cool. Okay, and then you go from there. But yeah, as soon as you send the mail, as soon as you click send mail, that's it. Then honestly, the only time they'll reach out is if like, something minuscule where, they need the agent's contact, like something that you would know, right?
Okay.
But aside from that, once it goes through and they sell it and whatnot, they're just going to ask what your wiring information is to send you your money.
Okay. What happens in the event that I get it under contract and then I send it off to the team and then they like can't sell it back off? Like, do I end up with the property then still, or how does that work?
No. So what you're going to include in every contract is an inspection period, right? A 7-day inspection period. And what that does is, for any reason whatsoever, if you want to back out of the deal, right, which we would let you know before the inspection period's over, you back out of the deal, you're no ties, no nothing, you just back out, right? That's what that's for. Even honestly, even after inspection, you back out, nothing happens. It's just canceling contract. So, but yeah, in the event that, let's just say something goes wrong, you have your inspection period and you just say, hey, listen, we can't move forward, we got to back out. You sign a mutual release form and you're done.
Okay. And that's something that the realtor would send to me as well?
Yeah.
So I would just need to make sure before I sign the contract that it has like the inspection period and that it has all that information in there? Or is there anything specifically that you guys have that I should have on file to like push to them or anything like that?
As for like a template, like terms, I don't think they have anything on file. I'll put in the Zoom chat. You're going to obviously tell them your purchase, your earnest money deposit. So earnest money deposit, you actually don't have to submit, right? So earnest money deposit is essentially like good faith deposit, right? That you're going to move forward with the deal. So, but the way that we wholesale is we'll have the buyer submit it for us. So what you can include is this: EMD due post inspection. And what that is buyer walks the property. If they like it, then they submit EMD for us. And not only does that submit EMD, on the front end, but also locks the buyer in, right? Gives them skin in the game. So the way I kind of pitch it is, listen, we're going to walk the property. If we end up liking it, we're going to submit earnest money deposit to lock us in, essentially, right? So you can include that purchase price.
So I would just need to like talk with the realtor and be like, hey, let's say seller agrees to 85 and then they send the contract over, and I would just say, hey, like our earnest money will be post inspection, like pending inspection or whatever. Like we'll have our team come out and take a look at it.
Exactly.
And then do that. But if for whatever reason we don't pass inspection, like we might back out.
Exactly. Yeah. They know that, right? With the inspection.
So that's a standard thing.
Yeah. Well, the EMD due post inspection isn't standard, but backing out in case inspection goes bad is standard.
Okay.
But yeah, I would just say, listen, what I usually use is if they say no, is I'll say, it's just from an opportunity cost lens, would it make sense for us to, let's just say we're submitting $500 EMD and we're walking 10 properties a week. We have to submit $5,000 a week, $20,000 a month just to look at a property, It makes sense. Okay, if we like it, cool, we submit it and everything works out. Instead of we submit it, we don't like it, now we have to wait 2 weeks for our money. We're sending out $5,000 a week, it doesn't make sense. So EMD due post inspection, close of escrow, right? So closing 30 days. So financing contingency is just because our buyers are using a loan to buy the property. So they need a contingency in there in case the loan falls through, that they get their EMD back. That's it.
Okay.
And fee? That's it. Oh, inspection period. For the Section 8 properties, I usually do like $500 EMD. But if you've seen the Zoom chat, that's what I would send them, right? So obviously your purchase price is what you're gonna put. 5 of EMD. Yeah, that should be fun.
Okay. Could you hop over? I'm in the Indianapolis area.
Yeah.
There's one that I have that has popped up. I'm not totally sure if it would even be a good deal or not, though. Could you search that one real quick with me?
Yeah, for sure. Well, what's the address?
It's 2402 Adams Street in Indianapolis. And I'm using kind of like based on the start here video. He said like 80 to 100. Do I need to put that minimum on there, or do you just not worry about the minimum?
80 to 100 on purchase price
for the Zillow search. Yeah.
I don't worry about the minimum. Honestly, I'll put 100 for max just so it's easier to get things down, but minimum not as much, because at the end of the day, I'll tell you this, right? As much as buyers need to be over 75K when you sell it to them, right, for a DSCR loan, if by chance it comes back and let's just say you lock something up for 60 and you sell it for 70, they would much rather pay you 75 just to qualify for DSCR. So you make another $5,000. That's what I did on one of my first deals for Section 8. And also, if you get something that's like, let's just say $45,000, you sell it for 55, they can get a conventional loan. I would focus on the ones that are above $75,000, not list price though, right? Because actually, yes, list price above $75,000 just for now. And with the conventional, the reason why I don't do conventional as much is because there's a lot smaller buyer pool for conventional, because you're putting in that loan in your personal name. It's on your debt to income income ratio. And like I say, I mean, you can't put it in your LLC. And then also like I said, most people are going to want to go the DSCR route. I would probably say 70 to 80% of these buyers are going to go DSCR. So I would say above 75. This one's nice though, for sure.
Yeah, this one was interesting because it's been on market for like over 175 days. So I was curious about it just because of how long it's been on there and where the pricing is at. It's like, I'm not sure. So I think when I put it into the buy box, I mean, like the max purchase price on it was like only like 70. It was relatively low compared to the list price. So I wasn't even sure if that's worth, talking to this person about it or not.
Yeah, no, what I would do, first thing I would do is I would have to ask for more pictures because, we just have a hallway and a kitchen. So,
right.
And then what did you say you said the buy box came out at, or?
It was like in the 70s, I think.
Okay. So it's going to be tough. Yeah. I would tell you this, right? So best markets by far, in my opinion, are St. Louis. And I don't know if they still have Memphis, but St. Louis and Memphis, if you find something in Memphis, let me know. I could try my best to move it, but St. Louis by far. I will tell you this, St. Louis properties are going up in value because everyone and their mother is just jumping into St. Louis. So,
okay.
But yeah, the reason I say that is also like the rents are high, right? So for example, the rent was high. So Buybox will pay 5K under list, right? At 95K. So it's a lot easier for you to get something from 99 to 85 than 99 to 70,
And so when these buyers are purchasing these properties for the Section 8, what's their end goal? Like, are they putting Section 8 people in there and then just collecting the rent from the government and then those people don't pay rent at all?
No, so the way it works is, let's just say HUD user says they'll pay $1,500, right? Out of that $1,500, a percentage of it, a large percentage of it, the government guarantees, and then the other percentage the tenant pays, right? So, and this is more the ownership end, but when you're negotiating with the housing authority, how much you want to be guaranteed and how much you want the tenant to pay, I wouldn't go any lower than 80% of that rent is guaranteed. Then the other 20%, 10%, whatever it may be, is based off of the tenant's financial status. So if they make close to nothing, government's going to guarantee most of it. If they make a decent amount, they're going to be required to pay more. So there is going to be a small amount that they have to pay, but dude, I'll tell you right now, I was looking at a portfolio in Montgomery, and there was a trailing 12 statement which shows like the last 12 months of expenses, rent roll, stuff like that, and the tenant that they had in one of them was paying $32 a month. Damn, how do I do that? So yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Okay, so these guys are looking for these houses that have minimal rehab because they just basically want to purchase and just hold it so they can rent it out through Section 8 and get the cash flow.
Exactly. So Section 8 does their own inspection as well. The program of Section 8 does their inspection. So they want as close to turnkey as possible. For one, they don't have to do any repairs. Two, they, like you said, they could just throw a tenant in there. Yeah, and then it's cash flow. Especially if the management, man. If you have management, good management. I mean, there's going to be headaches in every business. But yeah, you really just sit back and just collect rent.
Okay. So from my standpoint, just kind of getting started, really just just searching through these properties, getting the info, and I don't move it into the pipeline until I've talked to the realtor or.
So you can move it you can click move to pipeline just to save your list, like of properties you're looking at. You don't submit it to Kurt until you talk to the realtor, get it under contract and whatnot. Yeah.
And then have a signed contract. I put that in there and then send it off. Okay.
Exactly.
And what's the response time typically from the team once you submit something like that?
So it depends on the buyers. I actually know this, funny enough, this guy right here, the actual guy, this buyer, me and him are making mentorship or partner on a bunch of stuff. So I'm close. I mean, I could check on your deal if you just text me or whatever, but from him, he's on top of his stuff. He is on top of his stuff. So maybe max 3 days, probably sooner, like 1 to 2.
So definitely within like the inspection period time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. So this is one buyer for all these areas.
So the way it works is it's him, and then he has 800 Section 8 buyers, right? And you know how we have a community? It's like that, but they're buyers. So they flock to everything they want to buy. So he has 800 people in these markets. That's kind of how it works.
That are ready to just kind of jump in there and do that. Okay. That actually is a little bit easier than I initially thought. I think mine was wrapped around like, okay, I find the place. I mean, this definitely helps with knowing a little bit more about the specifics of what to really look for. But then I was like, what do I do after that? How do I get it? People, I thought I was going to have to send contracts through DocuSign and like have people signing things and all that kind of stuff. No. And so it's way better knowing that the realtor will just do it. They essentially assume that I'm the buyer.
Yeah. And on top of that, the cool thing is, I mean, you won't have to deal with it because the contract will transfer into Chris and Rich. But what I was going to say is there's a thing called a double close, right? Do you know how that works?
A little bit.
Okay. So all it is, a double close is opposed to a normal assignment to where it's like, hey, Caden, I'm your buyer. You assign the contract to me, right? That's normal wholesale. Double close is actually, hey, Caden, I'm your buyer. Caden buys the property himself and resells it to me 30 seconds later, right?
Okay.
And yeah, the cool thing there is if it's kept in your name, which it would be transferred to Rich and Chris's name in the event that we need to double close, because then we'll use a transactional lender, buy that property and sell it. But yeah, you actually are the buyer of the property for about 30 seconds.
Okay. And then so once they get it and then they sell it off to the buyer and they do do all that kind of stuff, then that's when it's just like the 60-40 split at that point.
Yep. And then once closing date happens, you get paid out.
So in the scenario we came up with, let's assume the person agrees to 85, then it's, what is that, 85 to 99, the split there, but the buy box said 95, so it's like a 10K, and then 6 just comes my way.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, if you're going to double close, it's probably going to be less than 10. It'll be like 9 something because fees and stuff with the double close. But yeah,
roughly close to that. That's pretty sweet. And that's part of why I know personally, like, real estate is a long-term, like, wealth building tool for me. But I think doing it this way right now, especially with the full-time job and all that kind of stuff, would be a great way to start eventually stacking so that I can get into the creative thing. Because I'm going to really keep a close eye on the creative stuff as I stay in the Discord too. So I think that's a really interesting way to go about stuff.
And I'll tell you this, I only have like 5 minutes left, but even if you have your job and you have your baby and whatnot, leverage buyer's agents. 100%, because what you can do is what I do. I hire acquisitions team and it's free. So I have a buyer's agent, multiple buyer's agents in every single market that I'm looking in, because and then I have my own private clients, like their markets and stuff. But they not only source properties that meet my criteria, they also, if I want to give them a property to go after, they go after it. All I do is send them an address and a price. They get it locked up, negotiated, everything. And then you know what I do? Take that contract, give it to the buyer. So I'm in the deal maybe 5 minutes. So, and taking advantage of that, you could have your job, you'd have your baby, and all you have to do is these guys are working 24/7, and they might text you, oh, Caden, we got a bid on this, or Caden, what do you think about the counter that we got from this seller? And you're there. And I said they're free because the seller actually pays their commission. Seller pays both buyer's agent and seller's agent commission, so that's huge. And dude, for the creative as well, a lot less intimidating than you think. I have a video, even like whether we book again or whatever, I have a video that I taught a student creative. I teach students creative every day, but let me send you, or I'll put it in the chat. I mean, this is gonna go through creative front to back, A to Z in, I think, like 25 minutes. So
was it the same video that you had shared in the live stream yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. Here,
I think I might have that.
Yeah, there you go.
Was it the how to do creative finance A to Z in under 30 minutes? Yep, I got that. I actually started watching that yesterday.
For sure. Yeah, and like I said, man, even whether it's book or text or whatever, I mean, you need anything, just let me know. I can't promise that I'll get back to you instantly. I'm looking at here, I have over like 40 DMs that I still have to answer, but I got you, man, for sure.
Yeah, man. How long have you been connected? I know we don't have a lot of time left, but how'd you get connected with Richard and the team and get started with all this?
Yeah, so, well, I was a student, right? Started as a student in probably middle of September, and there was this old acquisitions manager named Gabe, and me and Gabe became friends, and I was bringing him a deal like hot leads every other day, creative. And they saw that, and me and Gabe became close and whatnot, and they needed another acquisitions manager when we still did like in-house leads and cold calling and stuff. And so they invited me into the Zoom, and they were like, listen, we'll pay for your software, we'll do this, that, and third. Here I am sitting with like $77 in my account, and I'm like, yeah. So I hopped in with them, and then from there, I grew out of that company and helped them make their company better, and now I'm helping you guys, and I have my own companies, all in probably like 8 months. So, and now me, Rich, and Chris, associates, and yeah, that's kind of how it started.
That's pretty awesome, dude. Congrats. That's a quick turnaround.
Definitely, man. So
I definitely.
What did you say?
Well, I was just gonna say this was super helpful, and I definitely will consider doing this again in the future if I need a little bit more close-knit help on some stuff. Because I know it gets tricky with the live streams. Get a lot of people in there, and they all want to jump in and get their questions answered. It's a little bit dicey sometimes.
No, yeah, 100%. And they just dropped another like 500 people joined. So I mean, dude, I had like over 70 people today, and I'll show you my notepad, dude. I only have like 3 things checked off. I still have to do so much more, and I have a meeting after this. So yeah, I'll hop into this next one, and then, dude, you need anything, just let me know.
Absolutely, will do. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, awesome, kid. Talk soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.